Hey, Paul here from Military History Gear Review, and today we got a special treat for you. I'm here at the head of Brewster Track in New Zealand, and I'm going to be testing out the Gorka-3. Brewster Track is only about 3 miles long, but we're going to be gaining almost 3,000 feet in elevation. And the Gorka-3 is a mountain suit, so it's perfectly suited for these sort of conditions. Now, the Gorka-3 consists of this jacket top, pants, and suspenders. It's made of impregnated canvas, so it's wind and water resistant, but there's no internal insulation. It does, however, have elastic along the wrists and on the ankles. It also has several button-enclosed pockets here in the jacket, on the inside, and in the cargo pants. So this was originally designed for Soviet mountain troops in Afghanistan, so taking it up this mountain will be a great test of it. So let's check it out. This is a lot of elevation. Well, up here at about 5,000 feet above sea level, and we're still about 1,600 or so feet shy of the summit of Mount Armstrong, but we are at the end of the trail, Brewster Track, that ends at this hut here. Obviously, it was incredibly warm out today, and not once did I need to even put on the Gorka mountain jacket. However, it's about 9 p.m. You can see the sun still really hasn't set, and a pretty good fog has settled over the mountaintop. It's drizzling rain, and it's quite chilly. Well, you can see I've got the Gorka on, and frankly, these are the exact conditions it's meant to be used in. High elevation, rapidly changing mountain temperatures. I hiked in the pants all day and was sweating in them, but they dry off real quick, they breathe really well, and here we are 2 hours later, and it's almost freezing rain. And so I was just able to throw on the jacket. So far, so good with this Gorka-3. But the real test is going to be tomorrow. Okay guys, so the original plan was to hike up the mountain, but as you can see, it's pretty much completely clouded over. So as much as I love standing in a cloud, it has started raining. The wind gusts are really up there, so we are going to be working our way down the mountain instead. But still, the situation remains. We're going to put this Gorka to the test, and hopefully I stay dry and sort of warm. So let's find out. See, the suit has remained pretty water repellent so far. Which is good. There's a lot of water. Finally finished our descent. Well, after 4 hours of climbing down from the mountain in the pouring rain, we are all completely soaked. The Gorka is soaked through, My socks are soaked through, everything is completely soaked. But we are at the final river crossing. So hopefully, all we have to do is ford that river, and we're back in our car. But I am not going to be filming the end segment until after I am nice and dry. The Gorka suit was originally designed for Soviet troops in Afghanistan. The Soviet-Afghan War lasted from December 1979 until February of 1989. The Soviets had initially intervened in the country in an effort to curtail the reform efforts and abuses by a regime that was proving too extreme for even the Soviet Union to support. Like many other countries that intervened in Afghanistan, the Soviets believed they would simply enter the country, prop up a more amenable regime, and quickly leave. But in fact, they were drawn into an Afghan civil war with countless fractures and fault lines along ethnic and tribal groups in the country. At its peak, the Soviet regular forces in Afghanistan, the 40th Army, totaled nearly 115,000 conscripts. And over the 10 years of the war, over 500,000 Soviet troops would serve in Afghanistan, in addition to the 65,000 strong Afghan government army. The Soviets were operationally agile. They were able to implement battlefield lessons in the use of their rotary wing aircraft, improved their armored personnel carrier designs, and even developed a new battle rifle, the AK-74, with its lighter 5.45 by 39 round. And of course, they developed the mountain suit, the Gorka. However, because the Soviets rotated conscripts every 2 years, that limited their ability to learn from their tactical mistakes. So, while the thinly stretched Soviet officer corps would rotate through Afghanistan more frequently throughout their career, most conscripts would serve between 18 and 24 months in country and then be discharged from military service. This meant that troops often committed the same tactical errors year after year, and it meant that each year the anti-Soviet militia groups, who were collectively called the Mujahideen, learned to adjust their tactics, while the Soviets often wouldn't. Ultimately, the Soviets found that one of their most effective tactics was using their mechanized and armored forces as a hammer to push Mujahideen into valleys and restricted terrain, where their helicopter units or airborne troops would act as an anvil to crush them. While this produced some tactical successes, it did little to stabilize the Afghan government or erode the capability of the Mujahideen groups that were funded from governments like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and the United States. Ultimately, the Soviets withdrew in 1988, and the Afghan government collapsed into civil war just a few short years later. All right, well, I'm back. It's about 24 hours since I returned from Brewster Track. I am dry, the Gorka is dry, so let's take a look at just how it performed. On the way up, I only wore the pants because it was so warm that I never really had a need to put on the jacket. However, the pants breathed really well. I never felt like I was wearing heavy canvas pants. The suspenders are incredibly comfortable. I think I actually prefer these to a belt, especially when I'm wearing a pack with a waist strap, because sometimes the waist strap and the belt will meet and will actually pinch on your stomach. Also, having the cargo pockets and the conventional pockets was a real asset because I was carrying my cell phone, snacks, my fiance's cell phone, and it all fit and was really secured. Something else that's a nice little design detail is that you can see these pockets. The opening folds over entirely over the button. So there's no chance of anything falling out through the pocket because the entire opening is folded over. Again, a really minor design detail, but I knew scaling up the mountain, my stuff was going to be secure. Now, on the descent, I did put on the jacket because of the heavy rain, the considerable wind, and as a windbreaker and in light rain, the Gorka jacket performed awesome. The hood was outstanding. The material really did repel water, probably for the first hour or so, which is what my friends who are wearing commercial hiking rain gear, that's about how long their rain gear resisted the water. One detail that is nice is that the Gorka has an internal pocket that's entirely separated from the jacket, so that even as the canvas started to get wet and absorb water about 2 hours into the hike, this pocket still had at least one other protective layer. So I was able to keep my cell phones in here, and even with no case, the cell phone really didn't get that wet, and that was crucial. Now for some of the bad. First, this jacket is not insulated. So it is thin and can get cold if it's very cold out, especially very early in the morning. I was still pretty chilly despite wearing the jacket. Second, after 2 hours in the rain, this jacket became totally saturated and the water did soak through. Now it's worth noting, this is marketed as a mountain suit. It's a wind suit primarily, not a rain suit. So is it fair to criticize it for not performing for hours and hours in heavy rain? I'd say no. But also you can see a little bit that after just one wash, the canvas has started to lose some color or treatment. And you can see this white that's starting to appear. And I've seen this in very old, like my Posh Palanka has it, but that Posh Palanka is a 40-year-old piece of canvas. And this is brand new, got it with the tags on it from bars. So that's a real question to the quality of manufacture. And one other manufacturing defect I noticed is that in the jacket pocket here, you actually have a very small hole where they just simply failed to stitch. So I can take care of this myself, but you gotta ask yourself, why should I be buying brand new gear that already has holes in it, especially in something like a pocket where you absolutely would put, say, a granola bar, which would fall right out. But overall, for $100, you are absolutely, I think, getting a good deal. The pants, I have zero complaints about. They're outstanding hiking pants. I would absolutely wear them again. This is a solid, lightweight windsuit with some rain protective qualities. And if you're someone that prefers canvas for the, because of its resistance to sparks and embers, I would prefer this over maybe a commercial windbreaker. But in conclusion, if you're a hiker or hunter or backpacker and you're looking for something that's a relatively inexpensive, easy windsuit to help you out that you can throw on in light rain or mountain conditions, the Gorka is a great option. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're able, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me. And like the video. If you have any items that you want to see me make a video on next time, please leave a comment. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the trail.